I'm trying to get out. I'm not trying to make up for content that I've been missing out on, not being able to post, but I'm trying to get back in the groove of broadcasting live streams and getting back into making content, working out things in real world, and working out, making sure I get more content and more gameplay, more friends. I can't focus on this all the time, but I'm trying to make, like Brandon Ferris talked about, doing 2% here, 2% there. So it may not seem like I'm getting a lot done in one major area, but I am getting multiple things done here and there. So a lot of different areas can grow in my life. He said it, and I just is amazing. It's his new brand, 2%. I like it. I like it. Alright, so talk to that guy. We're gonna help follow that lead. I can't help but plug it, guys. I can't. So, welcome to the Den meeting. Grizzlies, all those who stop in, check out, that aren't Grizzly, thanks for stopping by, checking me out, for comments, so on and so forth. It is my point of view. There are games that I like, but just reaching out to more esoteric people in the universe and trying to help bring us all closer together so that the Universe Stinkers Union can grow. We're all out there. Tons of us. Just gotta find each other. And it's a different thing, but you'll catch on the more you learn, the more you watch, the more you see, the more you pay attention, the more you slow down. It all come around. But anyways, so we're doing our dailies, trying to get to a teapot. I gotta start this mission because I can't get to the teapot until I finish this freaking mission. Report to what's its fart. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. If those of you that don't know, let's educate you. So we go here. There's the magical teapot. Once you get high enough level, click on it with, click on L3, go to place it, get this little magic teapot. It's pretty darn cool if you haven't got this far. If you have, it's pretty fun. It's one of my favorite things about it. It's kind of cool. With a lot of things that I've complained about in the video game world, there are other things that are cool about the progressive changing of the video game world. This is the teapot. I thought I had to finish the entire mission, but I just had to finish that part. So, this is the inside of the mission. I'll show you around that in a minute. Let me show you the cool stuff. So you have your outside regular game world for those of you that play, that don't really know. And those that do play, that have got this far and enjoy this part, cool. And for those of you who know about it and this is boring, well, feel free to move on. It's okay.
Maybe you're not used to the place at the moment, but once you've materialized enough rooms and furniture through subspace creation, it will feel just like home.
Right, so we get to create furniture. This is subspace, where you can make your own world inside of the game that already exists. Awesome! It takes a lot of let me quit talking so much. Create furniture. Come here and grab the stuff that I've created. I usually would play this with my brother and we would do it together, but he has been busy a bit, and that's okay. There's certain things that he hasn't played because he doesn't feel right, because he's been waiting for me, and there have been times where he waited for me and then I gave up on game and stopped playing, and he would continue. And I'm not giving up on not playing, but I also don't know all of what he's achieved and what he hasn't. So he's told me I can't remember it all. I didn't write it all down. That's a silly part for myself. So,
If you ever have any questions about the realm within,
there are parts of the game that we can play together as multiplayer, but it's also very limited. And then when you're playing with somebody else, in their instance in co-op, you help them open their chests and work with them on their goals, and then they can in turn help you in yours. So this is the teapot, but the reason why I wanted to come here is, oops, map. There is something special going on right here. This is your blue teapot the guy was just at, and this is your orange or green or whatever. Chubby. He's here for 2 more days, 21 more hours on weekend, I'm guessing. So he's like your Zur on Destiny 2. He's he's your special trader for your subspace world, and he only comes on weekends, I'm guessing. I'm learning. So, he's here. And I want to be able to take advantage of being able to come and check out what he's got. And wait. I gotta go to what's-his-face and see if I got monies saved up. Free in-game cash. I don't want to play it too much, because I don't want to do too much without my brother. But at the same token, he's been waiting for me to get to a certain level, so that we can continue from there.
Maybe you're not used to the place at the moment.
Yeah. Come on. Trust rank. Alright. I got money saved up. This is your time money that raises over time. And the more your teapot levels up, the more you get stuff. Just like in other areas in the game, like you have a book that you have to rank up, and the more you rank up, the more goals you get. It's really cool stuff. But so you can get free money, but it takes like 8 hours, the lower your teapot ranking is, and so on and so forth. But we gotta quit with the jibber jabber, and he's here for the weekend, but I got other stuff to do too. So, like I put in the comments, it's not gonna be one of like my 4-hour things. I'm hoping not. It's getting daybreak here, so I got daylight things to do, and I do got to get some rest eventually at one point. But I'm working on a plan for that, so that's cool. So Chubby's here.
The one before you is known as Jade Seeker. One travels far and wide, seeking not but to witness all of the treasures this world has to offer.
What are you selling?
Encounters with fine treasures cannot be forced. This is something that only fate may decide.
Ah! Yes! Yes! Okay, subspace, boulders, radiant, thingamajigs. I still haven't figured out entirely what those do. I know there's some kind of currency that you can use for other stuff. This wondrous crystal contains a certain rhythm, like something beautiful woven from delicate silk. These items can be found throughout the mainland or from merchants who collect curos. The tune held within this crystal can be refined in your something pot used for whatever that is, unbound winding and unbound soaring. Got it. Okay, yeah, I was looking into that kind of stuff. There's 8 of them for that, and there's 33 for 100. You get 8 of this for those, 33. Oh, how much? Oh, I got a little bit of money. So we're gonna buy one of these. Exchange. Just one. Yep. exchange that one. And then come up here. Back up. Come up here. How much money do I got? I got other stuff that I want too, but do I want a Greyland Hound or do I want a Sheba? Oh, you know what? I'll get more money eventually. And I'm gonna get one each. Subspace, boulder, rocky, bulwark. One of the rocks that form part of a basic terrain, well, it can be used. This sturdy stone can repel monsters. It's like fortifying. Okay. How much do I got still? I got enough. Wanna buy up everything? Oh, you can buy multiple ones. Okay. I'm gonna buy one. I got 108 or 109 silver left. So I'll buy one of each and check them out here later. But yay me! Alright, I'm done with Chubby. Yeah, I got puppy dogs! Let me show you something really cool. I don't want to ruin it for everybody, and I don't know how much my brother's gotten, but look! I got a kitty cat! He's a little gray kitty cat. I love cats and dogs. I just never really owned my own, because I haven't got to be able to stable enough to have my very own. But I got me a little gray kitty, and he sits there, and he wanders around where I place him. He's so cool. Sometimes I just like to come and sit and watch and see what he does. Random stuff. It's so much fun. This is like a fruit stand, and you'd think that you can make fruit from it, and my teapot hasn't got far enough. So, it remains to be seen, and those who do know, don't ruin it for me. So, there we go. Yeah, my teapot is level round 2, like your notebook, and I got 7 out of 9 more things to achieve before it upgrades. So, I gotta place a furniture set, and I have to place a rock furnishing in a single realm layout. Interesting. View rewards. Oh, I would get one of the gray dogs as a reward, and I bought one. That's okay, I'll have 2. I'm gonna have an army of wolves. It's so exciting. Sorry, I gotta be quietish. Okay. Most people be like, well, I got one for a reward. I don't have to spend money on it, but I'll have 2. You'll have 1. Anyways, I'm back. Sorry.
Maybe you are not used to the place at the moment, but once you've materialized and...
Yeah. Okay, trust, create furniture. I got all my goodies from here earlier. Yeah, the more you upgrade your teapot, the more stuff you can craft, and then you can make dyes and all this stuff from things that you harvest in the real world. And then, wait, if that's not fun enough, you get to pick what theme you want, and then, wait, there's more. For $3.99, there's Rum Depot, where you can buy stuff with your gold or your silver or whatever it's called when you just not play in here. When you're not playing, it builds up over time every 8 hours. So while you're in the real world doing real stuff, you can save up silver in the game and come back and be like, I haven't played in a couple days or a couple hours, and look at all the money I got. It's one of my favorite parts of the game. Okay. So these are the seeds that you can buy and plant later. These are your fields that you'll need to plant them. These are your, joystick. These are your subspace waypoints, which leads you to believe, Ben, myself, talked about, and my brother and stuff, that this base can get huge. You're limited now because your teapot's only so big and it's only such a level. but you get big enough and you can have subspace waypoint teleporters. So, ladies and gents, the freaking potential is awesome. And then you got these guys like Leisure, Rhythmic Splinters. You read all that. It's cool. You read this. It hints toward what it's kind of like. So I'm excited about a few things. This one's one of my good ones. I should have bought this earlier, but the shopkeep guy was here, so I wanted to get what he had to offer at the time. But this one's fun. Leisure device on the pulse. Read that later and see what kind of fun you can have with that. Anyways, I'm not going to spoil it all. I don't want to ruin everything for you. But it's got some cool potential. Joystick. Wish they would. The way they have the changing with the D-pads and stuff makes it difficult with the joysticks. But especially if you have joysticks that are messed up, which are like one of the fastest ruining parts on a PlayStation controller, any controller, because it's a gyro. You know, the D-pad was more sturdy and more firm and took longer to wear out. You know, years and years of racing games would wear out your D-pad, or years and years of racing games where you had to hit X for gas would wear that out, but it was more sturdy. But there's more that you can do with the touchpad, the more you can do with the joysticks. And there's always got to be, they always got to give you more, so you can go, ooh, look what this does, you know. I have a frustration with the joysticks because they wear out so easy, so fast. And it took a little while to get used to playing with joysticks, and the shoulder pads and all that kind of stuff. But it does have a cool purpose. And it's hard, even when you're paying $60 at Walmart for a PlayStation brand name controller. It's still not. You used to be able to buy a PlayStation Walmart or PlayStation brand name controller, and it was good quality. And then you would buy third-party stuff so you could get cooler designs and special edition this and special edition that. But I would always save up, and I played around with the third-party stuff for a while because they were cooler looking and things. But I found in my own habits that the older PlayStation controllers would tolerate a lot more wear. You could throw them and they didn't break as easy. Like, oh my gosh, my younger years, I don't know how many times I whipped the controller into the wall or the TV or broke this. I learned to start throwing the controller on the couch so it has less chance of getting hurt. But then I started learning not to throw controllers at all. So it kind of helped there. But PlayStation controllers aren't as the good quality as they used to be either. They're breaking down just as fast as third-party ones because more people and more companies are saying, how can we do it cheaper for us, give them less quality, and then convince them to pay more. People want to talk about an epidemic and COVID. Well, that's the epidemic. A real crazy epidemic in the world is, let's make it cheaper for us to buy and charge everyone else more, and then try to convince them, well, we have to do it this way because it does cost us money, and it does to a certain extent. But we go through this channel, we gotta go through that channel, and there's so many people that are part of it. So they can, everybody gets their piece of the pie, but everybody wants their cut. But the people that suffer are the main people that buy the systems, because, you know, look what they did with the PS5, for criminy sakes, ladies and gents. You know, people used to wait in line so they could get the first PS5 because they had to get the first one. It had special stuff, and that's all cool. You know? But now, like for almost 2-3 years, you couldn't even barely get a hold of a PS5. You had to get special sales and more and more people buying them up, selling them, trying to make more money on eBay and all those other sites and scam this and all that kind of crap. I miss the good old days. I could just walk into GameStop or Walmart. GameStop was my favorite back in the day. Just walk into Walmart, or I mean GameStop, and say, what kind of new system do you got on sale, or what kind of new system you got that's special, and be able to get something cool. I still have my old dinosaur PS4 silver Batman Arkham Special Edition with the black cowl, came with a silver controller. I bought at GameStop so many years ago. Couldn't find it anywhere else. And now GameStop's going extinct. I remember back in home, my hometown I was growing up in, they had this really one cool crazy store that stopped in for a little while and then disappeared, as they all do. It was an old store that had every kind of console you could ever want. They came and went, but you could go into that store and find some really good old classics. But the world is trying to make us depend on just ordering everything offline and staying home, and taking the joy away from walking into the cool new store and hear the angels in your head sing. Let me tell you a little bit about that craziness, okay? I remember when I walked in that store where you could buy older consoles, used, new, old, turn them in. You know, it was like GameStop, but older and nostalgic, and it was
If you ever
literally
have any questions about the realm within, you may ask me.
But I remember walking into that store. It was like a garage sale, but it was a legitimate business. And I could find so much there. I just walked in there like a little kid on Willy Wonka's chocolate factory going, I want this candy pop, I want that sucker, I want these narrators, I want this Wonka bar, I want this, I want that. And dreaming endlessly of all the different systems I used to have or wanted or played from somebody else's house and wanted one of my own I never got or had and gone. And it was all found in one little store, my hometown. I didn't have to go on the internet. I didn't have to pay Amazon's prices. I didn't have to deal with Walmart's bullcrap. And the people that worked there were amazing people. When you were kind to them and nice to them and weren't just there trying to swindle them and, you know, work on a new habit that you're trying to sell stuff for, that you're dealing with, and you're not just trying to sell something you don't want to get rid of because you've been trying to hold on to it, but your family's hurting, and you need to get through the hard times. But back then I was like 19, 20, I can't even remember the age, and just remember walking into the store and seeing generations of gaming just sitting there. Years of my life. Things that I thought I could never find again. All in one place. And it may sound crazy to some people, and it kind of can be. But I literally heard angels sing. It was a religious kind of moment. And I cry now. And people say, well, I'm sorry you're crying, Dennis. Yeah, I can be sad that it doesn't exist anymore, and I gotta buy stuff off Walmart or Amazon and deal with bad customer service, and it's hard to find a good store. But I still get to cry because I miss that store and all that cool stuff and the way it used to be. But I also get to be happy in those tears because I get to remember that it existed once. It was a real thing. And there's so many people that are never going to know that that was real. But I know it is. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. And I heard the gaming gods and the angels sing. And it sounds crazy. Ladies and gents, it sounds crazy. But it was real. At one point in our life, it was real. And it was awesome. Stuff you guys miss out on. Things you'll never know. You'll never see. Because the world changed so much. I feel bad for all of you who don't know, who don't remember, who have no idea what I'm talking about, and think it's a bunch of crap, or a lie, or some story I made up. But it was awesome. And I can't bring any of it back. But I don't have to forget any of it either. I don't have to forget it. I'm going to hold on to that wonderful feeling. And I'm going to remember that beautiful store. And I'm going to be able to remember all those great consoles and games. And the angels singing inside. For a gamer, it was heaven. And I'm okay. I'm okay. Because it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. It's better to have reached for the stars, and if you never grab one, at least you went further than if you would have never reached at all.
What's the hurry?
Quit settling for lives of quiet desperation. Quit settling for what life gives you. Choose 10 years from now that the life you live is what you chose to make it, and you just didn't settle for the crappy cards you got. Quit just trying to survive. Quit saying same crap, different pile. Same grind, different day. Start saying another amazing adventure. Another amazing day. Another day that was just as great today as it was yesterday. And I have all the faith in the world and know tomorrow will be just as great. Regardless of how much there's good and bad in each day, quit judging them that way. Quit. Learn to appreciate every day you get. Every one. You hear the cool songs about Live Like You're Dying from Tim McGraw. You hear about testimonies from people that are dying from cancer. You hear more and more of all these people dealing with all the hard things in our lives. It's reminding us all, live like you're dying. The world's changed a whole lot different, buddy. Ladies and gents, it's a whole lot different. You have the power to change your destiny. Yes, I'm a Christian. Yes, God knows the choices I'm going to make. But I still have my free will to choose what to do with it. To give in to my bad habits, or to change my life for the better. Even if it's just a little bit today. A little less bad yesterday, today. A little more good. As Counting Crows say, with all the things I'm losing, I've got to learn to reside myself to make a change. Because we all go through it as human beings. Every single one of us go through the process of thinking we're doing it this way and that way and all of it the right way, while everything's slipping through our hands slowly, slowly, slowly. We lose physical things, we lose people, we lose time, we lose so much. And then we can grow bitter, and we can grow old, and we can grow mad, and we can grow mean, and we can grow angry. I've been there, I've done it. And then I heard the words from Counting Crows. All that I'm losing, I need to reside myself to make a change. What are you losing, people? Choose to stop losing it. Choose to stop chasing the next big thing. And appreciate what's right here in front of you. Don't worry about having to buy a new toaster oven. Don't worry about having to buy a new car. Learn how to fix it. Quit living in a throwaway society. We're going to make so much garbage and throw away so much stuff. All the things that you see in crazy stories that are science fiction, like freaking what's the Disney one with the little robot? Come on, people, you know this one. You know? That can be reality. Think about it enough. Entertain the idea. It's not just a crazy story. It's gonna be a reality if we don't resolve ourselves to change. All of us. One at a time. We change ourselves. Lead by example. That helps change our children. And our children change the world. But who are we to sit there and say we'll do anything for our children and love them and do anything to save them and take care of them, but leave them a world of garbage and pollution and throwaway things? Because we'll be dead. We keep saying, I hope I won't be here for when the world gets bad. What about our children that we leave behind? You're not going to be there. People will lose sleep over it and worry. How are my children going to survive? Teach them to. Show them how to grow better. Teach them the mistakes that you made and what helped you through it, so they can learn how to change their mistakes.
Such a slacker.
Help them change their mistakes, because they're going to inherit the earth after we're gone, and we're not going to be there to take care of them. We're going to have to count on God and have faith. He will. He's theirs to begin with. He just let us share in being their parent for a while, but we have to give them back. But we also have to keep in mind the world we're leaving behind when we're not here. We worry about our legacies we're going to leave behind. Don't worry about your legacies you're going to leave behind. Worry about the world you leave behind for your children, ladies and gentlemen. Quit worrying about your aspirations. Quit worrying about what you are. It even says, Henry David Thoreau says, question, meaning of life, that the powerful play goes on. Answer, no, what's the meaning of life? Answer, that the powerful play goes on, and that you contribute a verse. What will your verse be? And so many people feel that for their verse to be the part of the powerful play has to be something about them. No. If I want to be remembered, I need to make sure my children knew who I was, and that I was a good person, and that I had mistakes, and that I messed up, but I turned out good in the end, and I finished the race well. And my children will be there to tell the stories of me. And they'll say it was hard, and they say the world was crazy, and my father and my grandma and everybody told me crazy stories of the way the world used to be, and it's not like that anymore. And I dream about the way it was and how it's changed, and I can't imagine what it was like back then. But they said it was real. And I watched their life. I watched them as they talked about it. The tears, the happiness, the sadness. But the world that we live in, their children, so different. So let's work on not just worrying about our legacy we leave behind. Worry about the legacy that God works through us. And worry about the world our children have to inherit. My mom, one of my many moms, told me, everybody's so happy about their free money. The free money, the stimulus check. And she kept telling me somebody's going to have to pay for it. Everybody's so happy to get it, but somebody's going to pay for it. And my mom said it's going to be our children. Our children are going to have to pay that debt. Our children are going to have to pay for that $1,400 the government just gave away to help. It doesn't come just from nowhere. My mom said it, and it made sense.
What's the hurry?
Our children are going to have to pay. So yeah, the money helps, but who's going to pay the debt when we're gone? Our children. Remember that, ladies and gents. I too enjoyed the stimulus money. I flew on a plane for the first time. I spent money like a rich man. I knew for 48 hours or a week what it was like to be a rich man. Thanks, Trump. But I forgot about the children. I didn't invest in any of it majorly for them, but I did learn to invest it. You know? I spent the first one really crazy or whatever. And then, as they kept coming, I learned this money's going to go away. We all get to know what it's like to hit the lottery for a little bit. Everybody says, I wished I could win the lottery. We all did. But who is paying for that lottery? And how are you going to invest that money? Because you're going to blow it. People went out and bought PlayStations and iPhones and knew this and knew that. And all this stuff was going off the shelf and economy raised. But how many people invested in important things? Like my mom bought a year's supply of toilet paper. My mom bought a year's supply of body wash. My mom bought a year's supply of paper towels, you know. My mom bought a year's supply of cleaning products. My mom bought a year's supply of dish soap and things like that, because when the times got hard and the budget was tight and the money was gone, she'd still have the house necessities she needed. And I heard that from her. It was the example she taught me. And it sounded good. It sounded great. And it sounded smart. So I didn't go out and buy up too much for everyone else, taking from everyone. And I did do it. A little here, a little there. And then when the limiting of our supplies got back to where we could buy more, I ordered.
Come on, let's get moving.
You know, year supply of stuff. And people told me I was crazy. You didn't just buy a few, you bought a lot. Yeah, but I haven't had to pay for my house necessities. And that money's been able to go to other places. So I may have more shampoo than I need. I may have more laundry soap than I need. I may have more garbage bags than I need for 1 month. But the money that I normally spend on them 1 month at a time, I've got stored up. I went from being an ant to a grasshopper, like the old story said. And instead of trying to live month for month, I still live month for month, but I bought big boxes of, you know, toilet paper or diaper wipes or soap, shampoo. Everybody's, that's a lot, that's crazy. Yep, but I'm not spending money on that every month. I used to have like a $45 budget every month based on the necessities, the needs that I needed for my living, my self-care, dishes, laundry, garbage. 45, and it kept going up and down based on what was consumed and used. So instead of buying new shampoo every month or every couple of months, I bought a year's supply. I bought a big supply, so it takes a while And that money is used for other stuff. My mom taught me that, ladies and gents. My mom. Who so many people will turn around and judge for the way we grew up. But she's finishing the race well, ladies and gents. And she taught me a lot of things good and the hard that we went through. And it helps
What's the hurry?
to this day. Not to just live in a throwaway world. Know about home remedies. Not have to depend on the hospital all the time for everything. Like they want you to believe if you have a fever, you gotta go to the emergency room. No! You have a fever, you use the home remedies to take care of it. Ice packs. There's home remedies that you can learn to bring fevers down. Get them in a cold bath water for a little bit. Put an ice pack on the back of their brainstem to cool their body temperature. Tons of home remedies. There used to be a time in the world where doctors came to you and made a house call and said, hey, Mom, what's going on with your kid? You know him best. You know what's been going on lately. How may I help you? Not the other way around. The world tries to tell us, well, we have to depend on a doctor to tell us what's best for our kid. They're not there every day with our kids. They're not there all the time and know what's going on. You do, as a parent. As long as you're being taking care of them and you're not putting them in babysitters and in daycares. That does help when you need to. But why pay other people to grow up your kids? Adjust your schedule so you can grow up with them. Because it's not just you growing up your kids, people. It's your kids helping you grow up too. Out of the mouth of babes. How many times has a child who doesn't understand the world yet said something so profound that everyone just sat and went, wow. That makes so much sense. Because they don't have all that other stuff clogging up their brain. They don't have all that other stuff. Their innocence taken entirely. They don't have all the trauma. They don't have all the hardships. They don't have all that yet. So truths come out of their mouth. And you just laugh and learn to play when you need to. You say, oh, I didn't think about it like that. And a 5-year-old taught me that when I used to remember or I didn't think about it that way. They taught me that. But then we get egos and we say, well, why do you play with children? You need to be adult. Put away childish things. Become a man. To a certain extent, yes. But the Bible also says to become a man. Become the God as a child with wonderment and awe. So much of that people discuss. Theologians have talked over. People don't understand it until that moment, that light bulb moment, that epiphany hits them and they go, oh, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Well, ladies and gents, God works in mysterious ways. Yes, that is true.
What's the hurry?
But I'm going to tell you a secret most people don't know. God only is mysterious if you don't spend time to search his heart and find out why he let that bad thing happen to you. And you don't spend the time to say, why are you letting me go through this, God? Why is it hurt so bad? Why is it so hard?
The one before you is known as Jade Seeker.
Whoops.
One travel...
Why?
To gain that which you treasure is a blessing indeed.
And there's so many churches out there that will teach you, well, God's sovereign, he can do what he wants. We're his people, he can do what he wants. That's okay to start with. But he says, seek his heart. How are you seeking his heart and knowing his will for you if you just say, well, he's sovereign, he can do what he wants? That's ignorance is bliss. You guys ever hear that saying? Ignorance is bliss. As long as I stay ignorant, I can be happy in my ignorance. So many movies say, I wish I was still ignorant. Go back into the Matrix. I wish I would have never bit the apple and got the knowledge of good and evil. If I was just bliss, I could be happy. Nah. Ignorance isn't bliss. It's not. It's a stepping stone. Because ultimately, we still have free will. So many people don't realize that the hardest part of their life is over. Regardless of how hard life gets, the hardest part is over.
All the other knights already have their hands full.
And people will say, well, how can you say that, Dennis? There's horrible things I've had to deal with. That's true. I'm not saying horrible things aren't going to happen. I'm not saying there's horrible things that aren't going to change your life. But at the same token, when you were younger, as a child, you didn't have control. You had to do as your elders taught you. No matter how much you fought back, you couldn't choose your own free will. And you were at the mercy of how they taught you. Bad habits and good. A little bit of both, like Guardians of the Galaxy. But the point I'm getting to is, it's not about how much good you have in a day. It's not how much bad you have in a day. Like Oogway says in Kung Fu Panda, there is no good news or bad news. There's just news. It's your perspective that makes it good or bad. Same thing with Christianity. God says the same thing. It's not about a good day. It's not about if you have a bad day. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have great days. You're going to have hard days where it was difficult, but you made it through a little bit and did it all right. And then you're going to have days where it feels like you lost completely. And it's so hard and so dark and so difficult. And it seems like it'll never end. All three of those days exist. All those events happen in our daily lives. The trick that I've learned, and it's not a trick. Yeah, I call it a trick. It's a key. It's a piece of wisdom. It's life experience. People call it a nugget. Whatever they want to key it up as. Whatever term you want to use. But I've learned through my life experiences not to judge my day by how good or bad it was. Period. I judge my day that I got to see the sunrise. Period. And then at the end of the day, I don't judge if it was a good day or a bad day. I keep telling myself it was still one of the greatest days of my life, just like it was yesterday, and it will be tomorrow, regardless of how much it was good or bad. Because I got a chance to do less bad and more good. Some days, you do lots more good and a little less bad. Some days you do a little more bad and a little less good. And some days you don't do any good, hardly at all, it feels like. And it seems like all you did was bad. But all of it's relevant. You can't make all the bad go away. You can't ignore all the bad in your life. You can't say, I'm only going to appreciate the good days. I'm not going to weigh my existence based on how many good days there are than bad. That's a common problem that we all... Whoops, that guy died. But it's a common problem that we all fall trap and privy to. Because it was taught to us that way. And I've learned in my own life experience that doesn't work for me. And if you find your own way to do it, you can learn how it doesn't work for you either. You know? People say, oh, I need to learn how I live like I'm dying. Why don't you? Keep saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Why don't you? And I have been privy to this, the same thing, making the mistakes. I still have stuff, but I invest my time in more people than worrying about the almighty dollar. That'll take care of itself. Caesar will get what's his. The government will do what they want. And money doesn't matter to me. What matters to me are the seasons in my life of my family and friends that I get to enjoy. Because they're not always going to be there. They're not always going to be there. And someday I might not be. So I appreciate, out of all the commodities in life, the only one you can't store up, the only one you can't keep, the only one that can't hold on to is time. 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 It's always fleeting, because we can't go back and change what it used to be. We can't hurry up today so we can get to tomorrow and make our dreams happen faster. All we're given is today. This sunrise. There aren't any new ones. There aren't more of them. They're not infinite number. There's only so many sunrises. I started learning that. And then a friend of mine, a wonderful, wonderful friend of mine, added to that and said, yeah, Dennis, there are no more new sunrises. You only get so many. But each one you're blessed with is unique. Ah, hear that? Do you hear that? There are no more new sunrises. They're not infinite. But each one you see has its own blessings, its own curses, and all of it works for your good. Because God said so, and God is diligent. And you can say, yeah, fine. Accept it, deny it. That's your free will. You're entitled to it. Enjoy it. I hope you learn to invest it well. Invest your time, your hours, your life in good things, so your one trip around wasn't wasted. Whatever it is you feel like you have to invest it in, invest it well, because it's not going to last forever. And more people are learning it, because more and more people are passing away. Life is getting harder and harder. And people will say, well, the world's never going to end. It's never going to do this. It hasn't yet. It hasn't yet, but it's been on a decline. The Bible says it's going to be hard. The Bible says it's going to change to a certain point. All that's part of interpretation, but look at the evidence in real life, regardless of if you believe in God or not. How much has the world changed? Really, how much? Believe in science? Okay. Believe in whatever. How much? Talk to the older people. Read your history. Remember the way the world used to be, those who were there. And the ones that haven't been there, that are young, that don't know, talk. Talk to your older people. Talk to your moms, talk to your grandmas, talk to your great-grandmas. Talk to them while they're still here, and learn something about the world that doesn't exist anymore. Listen to music. Good music. Not just weird songs.
Another target tracked down by outright.
Listen to something that teaches you about how the world used to be, and it's not that way anymore. You'll see. People told me my whole life, Dennis, you're always wiser beyond your years. And it's true. Always has been. And it tells the story in the Bible of King Solomon. God asked him, if I could grant you any gift that you want, what would it be? And Solomon thought about it, and he said, I would like to have good wisdom, to be a good king, to be your good servant. You know what? Never asked God to be wise. I never got a chance to sit down and say, hey, Lord, my life's gonna be crazy. What blessing will you give me that I need the most? And he gave me wisdom. So much wisdom. And it's funny because when people listen enough, they'll hear how much God has put in my mind and in my heart. But they also listen long enough and will learn the price I had to pay for that wisdom and why it was the way it was. Because my life was hard. My life was difficult. I had to go through things that most people shouldn't have to. And there's people that have been through worse. You know? Kind of like it. But,
Bet you can't keep up with me.
so many people say, I care about you, Dennis. I love you as a human being. You're an amazing person. And it's hard for me to watch you cry. It's hard for me to hear the stories that you've been through that are reality. That you really went through that. I didn't know you went through that, Dennis. And I've learned to tell them, I'm glad you don't know. I'm glad you don't know how I feel. Because you didn't have to go through what I went through. But I'll tell you this. I know so much of how much Jesus Christ has suffered for humankind. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, ladies and gentlemen, why he did it. And then some of what he went through. Because if he didn't, people like me wouldn't have continued to live. People like me would be a statistic like the great Robin Williams or the great Chris Farley, and Adam Sandler wouldn't have to cry, and Robin Williams' wife wouldn't have to miss her husband, and his daughter Jada Zelda, named after a video game, wouldn't have to know what it feels like for what happened to her dad. Got real quick. I'm a 7-time suicide survivor. I live with that every day. And the reason why God gave it to me was so I can help explain it to others. And God can help use me to help others through it. To help other survivors through it. And to be able to say to the young ones, I understand. I'm not dead yet. But I understand. And I can explain it to people in ways enough that they can understand it. You know? And they say, don't talk about suicide. Why? Because it's taboo? But when it happens, everybody's going, I never saw it coming. Yeah. You never did. Because it was hard for them to express themselves. They disappear and come back, and everybody counts on, well, he disappears, he comes back. He or she disappears, and they'll come back. They'll always come back. And then one day they never do. I know all about it. It's my life history. My life history. More and more people in mental health are coming out and saying this and saying that to help more and more people. That is a beautiful thing. Some people do it out of earnest. Some people do it to be part of the in crowd because that's what needs to be doing. Whatever it is. Watch for the people that do it just for popularity and listen to the people that really know what it's like. There's a difference. You can see it. You can tell it. And it's getting to the point in this world where we all need to start helping each other through our mental health. It's not stored away. Everybody's got skeletons in their closets. We listened to our neighbors fight and argue, but we held our own secrets and our families. We didn't tell everyone our business. Other people knew because they were there and helped us. We're beyond that now, ladies and gents. We're beyond that. We can't hide our mental health anymore. We can't ship off the people we can't control to government facilities to deal with it because we don't need to know how to deal with it. We can't be ashamed of what they've done and put them in a facility and say it's your problem. We're beyond all that, ladies and gents. Beyond it. So yeah, the world's getting harder, but it's also given us more fuel to appreciate each other and hold on to each other and share our stories, not hide behind our secrets that we were taught. We need to be perfect and not let our children know that we made mistakes. Be a good example. That is such old bogus crap. We don't make mistakes. We have to hide it. We have to show our children our perfect example and not show our mistakes. Bullcrap. No. We need to let our children know we make mistakes. We need to let our children know our secrets. Because secrets just eat us alive. We all need to be more open. We all need to admit our mental health. We all need to help one another. Because none of us are alone. Not one. And whatever you believe in, demons, Satan, God, the bad part wants you to be alone. Like it says in Harry Potter. You know, Voldemort wants you alone. Because it's easier for him to attack you. Well, everybody says, oh, that's great in Harry Potter. Well, where do you think it came from? The Bible. Where the Bible says to the worst place to be is alone. No one to help you up. But you're never alone because you have God and Jesus Christ. But you need real people, at least one or two from time to time, to help you. You can't stand on your own all the time. God made us social people so that we can help one another. Not judge, not push away, not bully, not be mean, not be safe. Time is getting shorter. Less and less sunrises for us all. What are you going to do with the rest of the sunrises you get? What world are you going to live, or you're going to leave for your children that you say you'll do anything to protect if someone fights against them? If someone came at them, you would fight tooth and claw. You die for them. What other areas in your life do you need to help protect them in? Not just against bad guys. What about the earth? What about the government? What about this? What about that? There's so much more than just protecting that little threat of one person. We can't hide in fear. It doesn't work that way.
I must leave.
But what do I know, you know?
Freeze!
It's a crazy fat guy.
No escape.
Crazy fat guy. So many people. Oh, Dennis, it's nice to see you. In your weird ways. How long are you in town for? All I can answer is for as long as God has me here. Because there's so many more people I gotta help. There's so many more people that are hurting. There are so many more people that need to hear my one-on-one stories of what I've learned one-on-one. Not multitude, not churches, not pastor, all that stuff. It's not how I'm effective. One-on-one. One God appointment at a time. One phone call, one conversation, one moment, one season, one adventure with a new friend, an old friend, with whoever God brings into my life at a time. Those are my investments. One more. And I work. And sometimes it gets too much. And I need to take a break.
Freeze.
Which I just recently went through. Because helping other people had me get reminded of the things I've had to go through. And I had to face it so I could grow. I had to go to some dark places so I could get better. So I could learn more tools on top of all the stuff I know. There's more to learn. Always. Always more to learn. As Blind Melon would say, once you stop dreaming, it's time to die. Never stop dreaming, people. Never give up on your dreams. Achieve as many as you can, 2% at a time. But also, what was the other point I was gonna make? Can't remember. It's alright. That's that. Oh yeah. Always keep dreaming and don't give up on your dreams, but don't expect them to just happen. Don't wait for your ship to come in. Don't sit there and say, well, if I win the lottery, I could do this. No. You're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting. And then your time is going to run out. And your sand's going to go through. And it's all going to be gone. And you're going to lay in your deathbed going, what did I do with my life? And then you'll have to face. So many of us are scared about what that moment's going to be like. Afraid of death. Afraid of where we're going to go. Afraid of how they handle their life. But what kind of real changes are they making in life? Real changes. Not just saying, I'm gonna one day. I got so busy doing this and so busy doing that. I forgot about this. I forgot about that. I kept saying I'm gonna. Start doing. Start doing, ladies and gents. I've had to sit here and tell my friends to start living life while I'm trying my best not to die. I don't tell them, like, everybody's, like Chris Farley, every made people laugh. Robin Williams made us all laugh. All the people that die from suicide made us laugh and happy. But the ones that saw them every day knew they had dark days. Every one of them that was part of their lives, different people saw different kinds of pain. Certain people that stayed close and didn't go away no matter how much they pushed and no matter how hard. The ride or die people that people use so loosely now. The esoteric group of suicidal people say, yeah, it's hard. This person will disappear for a little while. And they always come back. And it'll be hard and we'll be mad. But we'll get back to being okay. And then one day, they never come back. Ever. And then he said, well, I didn't know what to do. Nope. You didn't. Because you don't struggle with it. But there are things to do. Check on people that you haven't talked to in a while. Even if it's just a small phone call. Even if it's just, hey, how are you doing today? Because for all those people that sat there and called millions of other people and checked up on them, you see how they're doing because they haven't talked to you in years. Worried and missed you. They say the hardest part for someone that's apart from their loved ones is knowing if they're thought about and missed. And all of us will say, well, I just thought about you the other day. And some of us mean it. And some of us say it out of politeness. But few of us really call one another anymore. We get so busy. And then they find out from somebody else. This happened in someone else's life. I'm guilty of it too. I'm not apart from this. But it's said by a philosopher, the hardest part for people away from their loved ones is to know if they're missed or not. And if people don't call you and don't stay in touch and don't check. And people say, well, I don't have, I don't want a bunch of best friends. I got like one or two best friends. Why? Why make your support group so small? Because it hurts so much to find those little ones? Well, keep putting yourself out there. Keep getting hurt. Make more friends. The more you get hurt, the more you put yourself out there, the more you learn to grow. With sandpaper people. The more seasons you get with different people. And yep, they come and go. There's so many people in my life that I've been part of. I miss on a daily, or out of nowhere it'll just hit me and go, oh man, I haven't thought about this person in years. Or my mom said the other day, remember that one chick you used to hang out with? She was so pretty and you guys had so much fun together. And she was there in your life for 4 or 5 months. And then she, things went bad and everything disappeared and everybody went their own ways. But you guys, she was so pretty and you guys were so happy as friends and there was so much that you guys got. And it was great. And I hadn't thought about that girl in a lot of years. It wasn't an ex-girlfriend. It wasn't someone I dated. She was pretty. But we became good friends and best friends. And it wasn't about her using me and me using her. It was helping each other. A fat, chubby guy with a pretty girl. And we were just friends. And the world sits there and said, that can't be true. Men and women can't just be friends without a romantic relationship. Bull crap. It can be true. Yeah, a lot of people will eventually get around to saying, well, we're friends for so long, let's try a romantic relationship or whatever. That can happen. But you shouldn't ever marry your mom or dad. You should always marry your best friend. And too many people, myself included, rush things and try to marry whoever just says yes, or push people away so whoever says yes, well, I'll go with that. They said yes. But anyways, I'm ranting and raving as usual. I said it was supposed to be a quick thing, do my dailies. I don't think I actually did my dailies either. I did one. Good golly. Anyways. Oh, get on those rants and raves. But don't worry, ladies and gents. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday I start group. Try to get some help in more intense therapy. I've been part of a group program called Partial, where it was 8 hours a day, 5 days a week of therapy. People talk about how hard it is to do a job 8 hours a day, 5 days a week to make sure their family's okay. Well, let me ask you, how hard do you think it might be if your job that didn't make any money was to go to therapy 8 hours a day, 5 days a week with tons of homework on the weekend? You know, so even when you got your day off, it was like school, but for mental health. And some people were like, oh my gosh, that would be hard. And other people said, that would sound awesome not to have to work. But to look at your problems and face your fears and deal with your issues and the things that happened in those groups, in those rooms that are getting different, like AA and NA and support groups for suicide people and support groups for PTSD and support groups for people that deal with families that are like that but don't deal with the issue. See the trend, people? Support groups. I laugh, but it works. Support groups. Anyways, I'll let you guys sort it out for yourselves. It's all on you. I don't have time to go to a mental ward. Some of us don't. Some of us have been so battered and abused in our lives, we don't have a choice. We can't function in the real world. Some of us are better at picking up ourselves by our bootstraps and eating our crap sandwiches and making it anyways without a lot of trips to the hospital like me. And there's a lot of people that have a lot of horrible habits that they keep the rest of their lives. And there's a lot of people that still make it. But mental health isn't always the answer. It helps. But believing in something bigger than you, they tell us. Anything, whatever it takes at first. And then come to that one that makes sense to you. That's what matters. My higher power is God Almighty. How do you know He's real? Because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Him. 7-time suicide survivor. That's how I know He's real. To me. How can He be real to you? I don't know. That's your walk. That's your free will. It's your business. But I'm gonna see if I can concentrate on getting these dailies finished up. Oh yeah.
Dodge this. Cool it.
Windblade! Steady as stone, as a good knight should. Hey, get it!
Dodge this.
I can hear friends or people. Do you feel better, Dennis? You got your rant and rave out there? A little bit, I guess. Some people will say, obviously you need a counselor. Kinda. But I also need more people, real people, not someone paid to give me medical advice, help, mental health. I need more family, I need more friends. To remember to not give up on me, especially when I give up on them. People say, oh, what's a good therapist? You don't need a good therapist to pay money. You need good friends. It's free. All it costs is life experience. All it costs is taking a chance on someone else. All it costs is your precious commodity, time. All it costs is you to invest in more people. Starting a small group, fine. But don't settle for just 5 people that know you best. Don't reside yourself to saying, I can only have one best friend. Don't just sit there and keep daydreaming about what you want to do in life. It'll never happen. Take the steps and do it. But also, don't worrying about your own dreams. Worry about who's going to go on the adventures with you. And if there isn't somebody that you want to go on the adventure with you, start the adventure. Find somebody along the way. Done it hundreds of times. Hundreds, people. More times than I can count. I used to have certain habits I did because I was lonely and talked to strangers. Great stories. Crazy stuff. When I tell the stories, people are like, you used to really do that? Yep. And people are like, I've heard of stuff kind of like that, but...
Windblade.
And then they get movies and movements and things like that made, like Pay It Forward and all that kind of stuff. Somebody says this needs to be brought to the world. It does. But why do we have to make it a movement to make it an impact? Why can't we just start with fixing ourselves and caring about other people and putting other people before ourselves?
I'll race you there.
Yes, make sure you're taken care of so you can help someone else. But the best thing, the most selfish thing you can ever do is selflessly serve someone else. Because while you're helping someone else, you'll feel so good inside. Ask Denzel Washington. Ask motivational speakers. Ask people that are reminding us these things, the good things that we need to remember, because the world's getting too dark. Everyone's dark is getting too dark. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone's. Not just mine anymore. Everyone's. Saddle up. Find a friend. Find a stranger. Grow together. But grow. And hang on to each other. Help each other. And if you can't find anyone, hold on to God till He brings you somebody. Anybody. He will. And then you'll have an amazing story about, this was the hardest time of my life. And I met this person out of nowhere. And my life changed forever.
Leave it all to me.
And I didn't even know it. Like bucket lists and people that band together through cancer. They're not just stories. They're not just good feel-good stories. They're life things that happen. Life things. It's not just a cool movie. It's not just entertainment. It's information in the form of a story. Find the secrets, the good secrets in them, figure out the bad ones to help you with your bad secrets and your hard times.
Let it rain.
Find a way of improving yourself
As a dutiful
so you can
maintainer,
change the world.
Don't get frostbite.
So many people want to change the world, but in order for you to change the world, you have to change yourself first, and then lead by example, and then the rest takes care of itself. One God appointment, one-on-one at a time.
What's the
Not
hurry?
cathedrals, not football stadiums. I mean, that stuff's good too, but there needs to be one-on-one as well. Personal relationship with a friend, family member, a stranger, so that your personal relationship with Jesus Christ can improve too. If you're looking at somebody and seeing Dennis Maben or Susie whoever or Lucas whatever or Mark whatever or Dan whatever or Christine whatever, if you just see them and you don't see the Jesus in them, you're missing the point. A good friend of mine, we were joking around, and a good friend of mine said, you know, look at me on the front of the shirt. He said he wants to put on the front, look at me, and then on the back, find Jesus. I told him he needs to start printing up that shirt, making that apparel to help. Has he done it? I don't know. When I shared it with a friend of mine that knows him, like, he said that? Yeah, he said that. Why aren't they doing it? Don't know.
I must leave now.
We'll see. We'll see. We all have our own personal spin on this ever-spinning world of the, what I call the perils of the universe. Our spin on our ideas of the good and bad in the world and how we've dealt with it. And the more of us that get together and the more of us that share how we get through in groups, the more of us strengthen and get better. Because like it said on Facebook, and it's cliche stuff and fun stuff that some people write because it sounds good and it gets votes or whatever. But other people know too. If people can go around spreading random hate, why can't I give away free hugs? Oh, that sounds cute. That sounds great. Gives me inspiration.
Leave it all to me.
Don't just let it be inspiration. Do it.
Windblade.
Learn how to share a smile and not give it away. If you can't understand that idea, learn it. Understand it. Figure it out. I learned it from a worship team leader that he tried to teach his son, who was young, like 5, 6 years old, how to deal with a rough day and people making him up feeling that he's upset. He said to his little boy, son, no one can steal your smile but you. No one. Think about that. We blame other people for making us mad all day. We blame other people all the time for pushing us so hard. Yeah, they can do that stuff. They still can. They're allowed to. That's their free will. But we still choose how to handle it. We still have to choose how to interpret and deal with this situation. We still have to choose with our free will, do we want to feed the dark wolf or do we want to feed the light wolf? Do we want to implore a word that most people used not to know, but more and more people are hearing it? Mettle. M-E-T-T-L-E. More people are learning it's not just M-E-T-A-L, but there is a common denominator. There is something that makes them sound close. M-E-T-A-L, for those who don't know, is metal that you forge and make and purify and make stronger, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Most people know that. M-E-T-T-L-E is the positive situation that a person learns how to deal with a positive way of reacting to a difficult situation in their life. So when life starts, it's the whole cliche of when life starts giving you lemons, make lemonade. You know, and people say, well, I've always heard that, but I never really understood it. Well, yeah, when all you got stuff that's sour, throw some sugar in it. Use your mom's home recipe. Sell it in a little booth. Because on a hot summer day, all of us know a good glass of nice, wonderful lemonade does make it feel better. Don't just hear the cliche. Don't hear the word. Don't just say it. Understand it. Live it. Use it to change your life. But anyways, whew, hour and 30 minutes. That's not short. And I'm still not working on my dailies. Let me check our goals here. Got 2 left. And the sun is, ooh. The sun is, ooh, 9:19. I missed the sunrise. Crap stacks. It's alright. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that, but we'll allow it. We'll allow it. It's daylight. I got some stuff to do. I'm not burning daylight. I've been up most of the night, but I got fresh air to see. I've got sunshine to see. And I'll crash later. I'm not gonna be up for a long time, but I'm a night owl for a reason. Never been a day person. But that doesn't mean I can't work 3rd shift in real life without a job and enjoy the night. Just can't sleep. Enjoy some of the daytime. And yada yada yada. So one of my peer supports taught me that, Dennis, if you've been a 3rd shift person and it's hard to sleep because of the way you were grown up, why fight it? Why not work with it? Get a job where you do work 3rd shift. So then I get to see the sunrise when I get out of work. And before I get up and go into work, I can watch the sunset. And then at night, I can do the job that no one wants to do. Because they want to rest and I can't. See that? See how that sounds like a problem to so many other people, but it works for me? It's all good, ladies and gents. It's all good. I hope more and more of you get to understand, listen long enough, and don't give up on the conversation. Hear a few little nuggets, and then hear that profound thing that goes, wait a minute, that's really good, I didn't know that, or I do know that. Where's he going with it? Welcome to the Universe Thinkers Union. If you so take the chance to accept the mission to change the world by changing yourself first. Mission impossible, ladies. This mouse will not self-destruct in 12 minutes. It doesn't have to be a secret. Learn how to do it for yourself. And show other people how you've done it. So they can learn what you've done and find their own way to do less good in a day, or less bad in a day, and more good in a day. So they can finish the race well. We're all imperfect, ladies and gentlemen. We're all broken in our own ways. No matter how many people want to convince us that their life is completely perfect, there's always a struggle somewhere. So look for the struggles that you've dealt with and other people that you can tell. So we can see our own kind. We all do. We have that feeling. We watch somebody else do that we've gone through. And we say, I know about that. And I wasn't even there. Tell me your story and I'll share you mine. And we'll help each other through it. That's why God allows bad things to happen to good people. And His hardest battles are given to His strongest warriors. So we can help each of us share how we've gotten our armor and our battle and our swords and all that kind of stuff.
Steady as stone. Time to clean up.
Share it with each other. Help someone else. My brother told me one time, and if you quit chasing everyone else's dreams, you might be able to accomplish your own. Why can't I do both? Why can't I do both? It's alright. It doesn't have to understand. It doesn't. But I remember once, long, long ago, when we only had each other. And that's how we got through. We shared in each other's dreams. And there's been so many of my dreams that I gave up on and moved on and went to something else because my impulsiveness has changed my inspiration to something new. My brother, as awesome as he is, will say, hey, remember that one dream you dreamt about? This one idea you had? Well, it's becoming a reality. This is the things that happen. So the ones that I've passed by and moved on from, brother likes them, thinks about them, keeps a hold of them, and it reminds me on the days when it's hard to remember. He remembers and reminds me when I can't remember as easily the so many dreams and inspirations that God's given me. But there's also a reason why I don't worry about just my own dreams. What's the point of achieving dreams if you have no one to share it with? Friends, family, wife, children, best friend, all of it. Doesn't have to be just a wife. Have adventures with your kids. Have adventures with your brother. Have adventures with people you haven't talked to in years and miss. Find them, look them up. You can do that. Say, hey, I've thought about you. I haven't thought about you in a while. I thought about you the other day and I was just checking out, see how you're doing. I don't have time for all that and all the drama, and I don't have time to invest it in more people. Why not? Because it's too hard. Yep. It is hard. But it can be done. I can tell you the stories of my life. And people will be able to say, well, not all of us have that privy. I heard a song by a group, and I forget the name of the band, and they said, I am a, you know, I pray for a doorbell and you pray for adventure, or something like that. I pray for a doorbell and you pray for adventure. But we dream about having the other. There's days when all I want is a home to stay in forever and never go anywhere. But what would happen if we really got that? What if I got a home and a doorbell and never had to move again? Well then, how are my talents spread that God gives me? And the people that have homes and have doorbells, they have a job too. I'm a wistful mind. Write songs, poetry, art. Talk to people, one God appointment and relationship at a time. And that's my job. And people say, well, you don't know, Dennis, you don't have a home. I wasn't given a choice. Ever have one. I say, you don't know what it's like to be there with your children from day one until they get older. I haven't had a choice about that either. And the choices I did have, I made because I wanted my daughter to be good. And when it came down to my son, I didn't have a choice. It was taken from me. But at the same token, they're God's children. My first child I had to give up because I was 17, still in high school. Had my first major meltdown using drugs. Screwed up real bad. And I didn't want her future to be based on all that. I didn't want to make all my sins her problems. I didn't want her to get screwed up horribly like I was. So the best way, I figured at the time, 17, still in high school, on food stamps, the best way I could stop the cycle was give her back to God. Give her to a Christian home. And let Him do what He does best. While I do my best to work on me. And it paid off. It was hard. Giving up my daughter for adoption. It was hard to think about what her life was like and all that I wasn't there to be part of. But I'll tell you what, my daughter's happy now. And the parents that I gave her up for adoption did a great job. Yeah, she still has problems, but she doesn't have my sins. She doesn't have my trauma. She doesn't have my bipolar problems that I taught her. The only way I could win for her was not be part of her life. And so many people will say, I couldn't do that. Well, I couldn't do to my daughter what they did to me. I couldn't. And it wasn't that I was afraid to be a dad. I wasn't afraid that I was going to mess her up. It was, this is a child that God blessed me with. What do you want me to do with her, God? What is the best thing you want me to do for her? And He says, give her back. She's not yours. There's too much wrong in your bloodline. Give her to Christian family. Work on you. And they'll take care of her. And we'll work together. And she's one of the greatest Christians I've ever met in my entire freaking life. Ladies and gentlemen. My daughter's beautiful. My daughter makes me proud every day. My God, my daughter is God's warrior. Her husband, her children, all of it. I couldn't be prouder. And I did nothing. Give her back to God. I had my own battles to fight. And I couldn't keep her safe and fight my own demons. So I gave her to people that I knew were good Christian people. And let Him make sure she was okay. My son wasn't as lucky. But it's okay too. I had to have faith that God will take care of him as well. So I wasn't given a choice on that one. And that's okay though. One helped with the other. I had to stop the cycle of abuse and give up my daughter so she could have a better future. And then when I was blessed with a son, and I tried, and I did have moments where I was a great dad, and I had moments where I was a horrible dad and did terrible things, just like most adults, most parents. They don't hand out manuals. We do the best with what we got. And it wasn't great. But I got to spend 7 years from the day he was born until one day he stopped wanting to be around me. Sorry, Dad, I'm good. My wife tells me your son's mad at you and doesn't want to see you anymore. And we all believe that his life will be better without you in it. That was my fear. Their life would be better without me in it. And the funny thing was, it might have been, but it wasn't. It wasn't better without me in it. But I can't change it now. What happened? But I still have some more work to get done on me, and I'm getting better. I am. One of these days, soon enough, God will return my son to me, and we will talk. And we will work on what time we get left. And that's okay.
Dodge this. This minute will be frozen.
Get her!
Cool it.
Hey! Oh my gosh, I got ranting and raving, and I don't. Ranting and raving. I got talking about stuff. My own therapy sessions. Everybody knows that pays attention and listens and watches and whatever. I've traded a counselor that my insurance has to cover for video games and church and family and friends. But I still need to work with medicine from time to time. I still need to be part of intensive groups because there's a lot of damage. So, and those groups need my help as well as I need theirs. So, there you have it. The cycle continues. But, getting better and better. I don't know how many times I've been part of a group or in a psych ward, and I'll be talking and people say, you're like the most sane person I've ever met, and you're so smart. What are you doing here?
Come on, let's get moving. You're not frozen in place.
Like, you make so much sense. You do better with these patients than we do. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Well, how much time you got? How much can you stand to listen to? It's funny, in so many of the psych wards, I've been part of friends where we've learned to lean on the techs and we learned to lean on the counselors and the doctors, but when we could, the patients had to learn to work together and not argue and work on peace, because there's always a bad apple that's got to stir stuff up and that wants to run everything negatively, and then everybody's got to deal with it enough and blah blah blah, and then there's peace restored, and once peace restored, then they start shipping people out and bring new people in, and the whole process starts again. So and it's getting worse. Mental health was getting better for a lot of years, and now it's getting worse. They took away the state hospitals, they took away this, they took away that. They're changing the whole system for their needs and all that other crap they want. So the patients suffer for it. We do what we're told, and they don't give us any more choice. Because state hospitals were too expensive to keep running, and not investments, and hard to upkeep, and it was more cost effective if we shut them all down. Well, the system worked for a while, and just when it was getting better, well, we gotta change it all.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Idiots. But what do I know, you know? The crazy guy, in and out of psych wards my whole life, laughing at stuff, and people sit there and go, you're crazy, Dennis. You're weird. Yep. All that's true to you.
Cool it.
But if you stick around long enough, I just might make some sense. Just might. If you're lucky.
Windblade.
Freeze!
Come on, you little. There you go. Archer. Off your pillar. Gonna break the pillar.
Prepare to be blown away.
Ta-da! Check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, now you can listen to other people and you can follow other people and you can hear other people's opinions and say this is this and this is what other people say and this, that, and the third, and this is what they've learned, and I've learned some stuff on my own and mixed it with what they've learned. And there'll be people that will tell you in this game that the base character that you start with is one of the weakest. Okay, she is. But she's the most versatile. And a lot of people won't like your first main characters. This is one of your first main characters that you earn, that you can get without having to buy. This is one of your first main characters that you can get. You have, that you don't have to buy. This is the main character. And then this is one that you get eventually that you don't have to buy. They're easier rolls and you get them right away. Now people will say this person's the best in the game and this person's more OP. These are your basic characters.
You seem tired.
Basic
Would you like some tea?
characters that you get. I don't need awesome new stuff. I've watched other people. I've watched my brother play and have cool stuff, and I want to be able to do what they do, and have this and have that, and that's awesome. And this cool weapon and this that.
1 cube or 2.
And I'll be like, this is cool. I'm not jealous of them. I like what they can do, and I want to be able to do it too. But this right here. My hunters and gatherers are my basic characters. Nothing special, nothing new. Level 50 with cool weapons and other things that my brother and I have discussed and learned. First 4 basic characters. Yeah, I got some newer ones. I got some other ones that are cool and they have other benefits. But sometimes, yeah, this is powerhouse stuff. Yeah. Sometimes the original stuff isn't all that bad. And while other people, and myself included, are chasing around the newest character or the newest update, and this guy or this character's more OP, and this one's better, and it's so much easier, and blah blah blah. Sometimes all the stuff you gotta pay for and work hard for isn't all that much better. And it is for a little while. And then it changes. But these are original characters. And they haven't changed them. And I didn't like the archer at first. But I've learned to use her better. I like the ice guy. He's pretty cool. I've learned to appreciate the main character, and my brother taught me the greatness of Miss Noel, and this right here is my bread and butter. This is my bread and butter, as they would say on Harry Potter. This stuff is cool. This guy here is one of my favorite, Razor, because he's got a beast. It's cool. I like a lot of other things about these other characters and other benefits and such. You can see like kind of a standard here, but these are 2 new characters. The chick that's got a guitar, and Bennett, which is an adventurer. They got nice aspects, but I gotta get used to those, level those up. I can't concentrate all of them, but you can if you do it right. Some say pick like 4 or 5 and make that your team. Well, ladies and gents, the ones that I chose to stick with the most are my original characters. I know them the best. I've played with them the longest. These other ones I can work on getting higher. But these ones haven't changed. They are, from the beginning, the original OGs that started in the game. And I've learned how to make them work for me. The more I learn the game. This is my Guardians of the Galaxy. Hunters and gatherers. They're versatile. So many people will change and do all kinds of other stuff, and it does have to where you do have to change and have different groups. That's kind of the point of the game. But with this group here, I can do a lot of stuff just right here. The original ones were given to me. But anyways, not everybody has the same game style. Not everybody has the ability to like that, and not everybody has a way of working at work. And my brother has showed me some really cool stuff of other characters that he's gotten, and it's so much easier. I'm like, oh yeah, that's great, that's awesome. But I'm not blessed with getting those characters. I'm not. He is. It works.
I'll catch up.
I don't get to do that. I'm not that lucky in that area. So I work with what I got.
Steady as stone.
Come on, bubble.
Yeah.
Let's get hefty.
Time to clean up.
Take care of my ads. Then me and the boss. Alright, now we gotta start doing combos. Put out my rabbit. Freeze. Alright. There we go. That's a little trick my brother taught me. The healer. But I also play sporadically where I don't worry about just dominating and never dying and not having problems. And you know, so many people have OP stuff where they do the most DPS and they've got a good team. Like my brother, he'll get on and he'll be so strong, and his setup is where he doesn't take any damage if he does it right, you know? I choose a little different style, you know? I like mine a little different. Uh-oh, there's one of the things around here. Where is it? Where is it? I don't know where it's at. Got time limit. That little star that's on me is gonna disappear. I gotta find. Whoops. I think I went past one. Yeah, anytime you see those little stars, you gotta find this little little urn thing, like here, like little temple, kind of thing. This is something that they would have in history that they would put down. I don't know if it's so much just in a Japanese culture, but there are other cultures that have little tiny markers like this that signify loved ones or a dramatic event. It's been changed throughout different cultures, but there's essentially, if you look at it right, you can see the same kind of thing in a lot of different areas. Like a lot of places have historical society places for plaques that people put down to remember the history that was once here. It's one of these, but they've turned it into a puzzle thing.
Someone needs assistance.
Like Cinco de Mayo and stuff. They have like little grave sites where they go and talk to their loved ones, or a marker for something that was important in people's lives. The Bible has it. The Jews would put little pillars of stone around different parts in the world to remember what God got them through. The 40 years in the desert, the rock that Moses hit with his staff, and God allowed water to happen because God was asking the people, the Jews, to stop being thirsty and don't worry about being hungry. Just do what they're told and they're asked, and quit with the grumbling and griping, and they didn't listen. So when they started getting too upset, God had compassion on them, and he said, okay, Moses, tap this rock with your staff and produce the water with the miracle. And everybody was like, oh, great wonders. But the point that people miss, that I feel, in that part of the story that I've learned in life, is once you've got your baptism and you've been given your living water, I was told by a very wise woman to not, after you've gotten your baptism, don't be thirsty for the Lord. You have your ever-living water. You'll never be thirsty again. But always be hungry for the Lord. And she had a very hard thing in her life happen to teach her that wisdom. Once you've gotten your baptism, you've received your ever-living water, your infinite water of life. So stop being thirsty for Jesus Christ and the Lord, and always be hungry for what's in God's heart, and your world will change. And ever since she told me that, it made sense. I didn't make it sense at first. Part of it did, and then other parts did make sense. And then I lived my life with that mentality and that idea to the point to where I haven't exhausted it, but I've learned so much from it. You know, because that's how I get through life. I pick one thing, or a bunch of things, like a color or an idea or a story that's impacted my life and inspires me so much. And I do my best to live that saying, or live by it, live about it, live in it, so I can understand it as much as possible. It's like going around and noticing all the blue things. It's a simple, mindful test to go around and notice all the things in the world that are blue, or green, or red, or whatever color you want to pick. Your favorite color, or color you don't like, whatever. Just for one day, go around and see how much is that one color that you take for granted all the time, because you don't take the time to stop and notice. And you'd be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know there was so much things in the world that is this color. And then people will tell you other things like, I never knew this, I never really understood this word, and it wasn't a big thing until someone said it to me, and it was a profound moment. And then once I heard that word, I heard it all the time. Because they opened their mind to its definition and the idea and the concept, and then more people said it. They didn't not say it before, it's just people said it and they paid it no mind. It didn't impress them, it didn't gravitate their attention, it didn't make sense to them, so they just overlooked it. You know, like, I never heard the word hankering for a good part of my life. I never remember it, but I remember people saying it or whatever. And then somebody said it to me one time, and I looked it up and thought about it, and then I heard it all the time, more and more. You know, more you said it, more you heard other people say it, because you allowed yourself to be aware of that word. You know, like they sat there and tried to teach us in school with spelling. You had a list of like 13 words. Learn how to spell it. Learn its definition. Be aware of what it is. So as we grew up, that we didn't have spelling tests anymore, but we got to choose a certain word that we didn't know, but we wanted to understand, and it was powerful to us. So we looked it up and we thought about it, and so on and so forth. So there we go. But yeah. So it's funny that we fight. Some people were great at spelling, some people were great at math, some people were good at this, some people were good at that. And we say sometimes in school, when am I ever going to use that when I grow up? And then you grow up and I never did. And then other times, people will say, well, I used it a lot, and I sucked at it. But then when I grew up and had actual practical use for it, I got better at it, you know? I sucked at it then. But now that I've actually learned that I've had to use it, then it helped and got better at math and better at spelling and better at this and better at that. So again, like I started with, it's perspective, ladies and gents. If you feel like your education was a waste, okay. But like Mark Twain said, never allow your schooling to get in the way of your education. You know, just because your schooling happens, take your schooling, learn it, but don't stop educating yourself every day, people. Don't. Your education just doesn't stop with schooling. Your education is what you make of it. what you make of it. Why am I having to do this again? Didn't I do this already? Missing my brother at the moment. Little inside story here. Give me a second. He's probably resting and sleeping and other such. But there you go. I want to sit. Oh, got a message. Had a God appointment creep up on me. Ah, there we are. Give me a second. Got busy with the video gaming and therapy. 2 hours and 5 minutes. Good lord. And the daylight's counting away. 9:50. You gotta stop eventually, Dennis. Eventually. Oops. Just want. Stop doing that. I keep hitting square. Because it's not the right button. Get better, Dennis. There you go. Always do your best until you know better. And then when you know better, do better. Alright. I'm sitting here. Let me, yeah, oh, there we go, That's a cool shot. Let's see. Let's get a cool... I do, amateur photography because my daughter has 2 companies that she does. She inspires me. I've always wanted to be a photographer or work on making cool pictures or taking cool pictures, and she's went to school, I'm sure, and things like that. But I've got my own camera and other things like that she helped inspire me to do and learn about. And I've got some pretty neat pictures, you know. Some really cool ones that were like accidental. Because there's a lot of cool tricks that you can learn to make a picture look cool. But there's also cool perspectives that you can make without thinking about it and such. It's cool. I'm glad my daughter picked that up and is great at it. I've seen a lot of her photos, and I'm glad that God put that in her life so that I would remember my dream and not give up on it. So that's that part where our children inspire us. Okay, let's get out of our seat. Wait. Let's wait. I always like that right there, and a real picture shot where I can catch the sun a certain way, where you can see rays that you normally can't see unless you're at that specific angle, at that specific time, at that just right, at that specific part of the day. That's hard sometimes to get on a camera, and other times it's easier. based on your camera. Newer ones don't do it. Older ones didn't. It's it's interesting, but it's cool. So we'll save that. Oh, you can't even see me. Oh, you can see the top of my head, but not my actual character. I saved that. Already saved. Okay. Ooh, what character am I using? Oh yeah. Okay. Well, that guy. That was that. That was cool. Oh yeah, I can go fishing. Let's This is from an old story that I remember reading in high school. It was one of my coolest, favoritist, first. I know there's a lot of craziness in there, but it was my first book that I read in high school that was just outstanding. It's called A Separate Piece. I can't remember the other character's one of the other main characters' names, but I always remembered the one character, Phineas. And want to learn more about it? I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Look it up, read it for yourself. LeVar Burton with no preview. A Separate Piece, ladies and gents. Look it up. Whoops. Look it up. And then, as it is true in the story, that wasn't as good as I thought. Alrighty. Ladies and gents, it's 2:11 on the thing. It was supposed to be a short, but it is kind of short for me. 2 hours and 11 minutes. I usually got 8-hour stuff. It is 10 a.m. I've got people needing to talk, client appointments.
Already have their hands full.
Chill out, dude. I got people talking, messaging me, and I've got a world adventure to go see what the world wants me to get into, what God has for me with this sunrise today. So, I will talk to you guys soon, and I will rest soon enough. Don't worry. I've known. I got it. I'm working on it. I have a plan. Alright. Thanks, Grizzlies, for coming to another den meeting. Anybody who watches this later, checks it out, comments, posts, appreciate it, all that. If any of what was said resonated with you, I hope it helps. Those who haven't found it, maybe you'll be lucky one day. Maybe you won't. We'll see how it goes. But that was what I got to deal with. And that was what I was working on. Well, it went from night to day. And I missed out on my sunrise. You can watch it, but my adventure's not over yet. And I'll be back soon. So, for those of you that like being part of the Universe Thinkers Union, I appreciate you all. Every single one. Even though the numbers are small, it doesn't matter. I don't mind. I'm not here for the multitudes.
I didn't know you were
I'm not here for the masses. I'm not here to make this a job. This is just part of the whole project. There's more to come. We'll see how much I can get done. Love you guys. Appreciate all those that like the content. Talk to you soon. Advice for today? There isn't any. There isn't any advice for today. I'm not going to give you any more nuggets. I gave you tons of them in the broadcast. Repeated stuff, give you new ones. I challenge people to give me a few nuggets. How about that? How about people put in a comment and share with me something? Teach me something new. I said to a friend one time, if you want me to be quiet and not talk so much, say something more profound, and I'll shut up and listen to you. That's how I found out so much about the universe and God and Jesus. I just sat around and listened to wise, intelligent people.
Come on, let's
and the profound things that they shared with me. But anyways, see ya next time. Thanks for listening to my own spin on this ever-spinning world, and I appreciate you all. 2%ers, 100%ers, whatever it is you got to give. Love you all. Later. Not give. Yeah, give. Give your time, receive your blessings. People will say life is... Oh, here's a nugget. Hold on. People will say life is give and take. No. Give your best and receive other people's. Don't take from anyone. Don't take, people. Alrighty. I'm trying to get out of here. Gosh, Dennis, what are you doing? Oh, nope. That's a screenshot. Expand that. Oh.